pretty.
John, it's all you.
All right. Maybe just you want to start off talking about the experiences at the World Championship there. It must have been quite a...
Yeah, it was a great experience over at Worlds. You have to learn a few things before going into training camp, how to be a pro, how to handle yourself off the ice, and I definitely learned that and more off the ice. And on the ice, I learned there's certain parts of my game I'm going to be having to work on if I want to, be on the Predators and make an impact with the team. So definitely it was a great experience all around, and also had a chance to meet Ryan Suter, and he definitely helped me through the experience.
What did you see the biggest difference between college and then playing with the NHL kind of players over there?
I think that the game just happens. Everything's happening that much quicker. You have to be ready to transition, and everybody's that much more skilled. So you have to be able to defend down low quite a bit more. You have to take care of all three zones. Can't be getting lazy. So it's more about developing your all-around game.
Colin, do you feel like you're more prepared? How much more prepared do you feel now than a year ago, maybe when you were drafted to play in the NHL?
I feel a lot more prepared. I think having had that extra year, I definitely got quite a bit more mature off the ice, which is going to help me, in the dressing room and with the other guys, and also just kind of dealing with adversity. So I think that's going to help quite a bit. But I think on the ice as well, I developed a lot more as a player, got a little bit quicker, so I can, adjust to the game, and at the same time develop offensively a lot more.
Playing with those guys in the World Championships and the other experiences that you had, do you feel like you're more prepared to be a professional now than maybe you were a year ago?
Yeah, I think especially with that experience at World Championships, watching these other pro guys, how they handle themselves and how they handle themselves on the ice is definitely. I definitely was had my notepad out, taking notes on those guys, and definitely taking mental notes and just realizing what it is that I have to do for next year to be on the Predators.
You didn't get quite as much ice time, I think, as you're used to. Can you learn a lot by just being on the bench and watching a lot what's going on the ice at a tournament like that?
Yeah, I was watching players like Dustin Brown, Sullivan, real offensive threats, but at the same time, they're going out there and they're hitting and playing a real edgy game, and I think that's definitely the players that I was learning from. But at the same time, for the ice time that I was getting out there, playing against Kovalchuk and Mark Straight, players like that also definitely allowed for a good experience.
As far as, I guess, both on and off the ice, what are there more steps now that you still feel you need to take to be on the NHL level as opposed to maybe starting in the minors?
Yeah, I think there's definitely some steps I'm going to be having to take this summer. Obviously, I talked to Poyle quite a bit, and as to what's going to be going on next year, and it's about my whole career, not just where I'm going to be next season. So if I end up there, I end up there. But yeah, there's definitely some steps I'm going to be needing to take this summer. Get a little bit stronger and faster, like everybody has to in order to adjust to the next step. So there's going to be a few steps, but I think I can be taking care of them during conditioning in the off season.
Are you ready for a little bit of a break? You've been doing a lot of skating over the last 9 to 12 months. You ready for a little R&R?
Yeah, I got a little bit of an R&R this past week since I've been back, but trying to get my clock set and everything like that after being in Switzerland. But after being here, I'm going to be going back to Boston, and for the next week, just kind of hanging out, getting a little R&R right before I start back up on the ice and training.
Go ahead, John.
I was just say you mentioned Ryan Suter. How did he help you out in the kind of the transition and over there?
He helped me out, a ton. He was a guy who we hung out quite a bit. We talked. He talked to me about Nashville and how it is, and just the culture. And I think also he talked to me about on the ice. He told me how to play a little bit better defensively, and just how to adjust my game and how he did. So having him there has already helped my game. He gave me it definitely helped me adjust to talking to the other players too around the dressing room. So yeah, having him there is just giving me another step towards my pro hockey career.
Today, your first chance to meet the Predators fans today. Are you?
Yeah.
I would imagine pretty excited about that too, aren't you?
Yeah, this is great. I always hear what a great fans we have in Nashville. So I finally get a chance to go and meet them and talk to them and sign a couple autographs. So it's going to be real exciting, and definitely looking forward to that today.
What about you played in the World Junior earlier this year and now the World Championship? Compare the two experiences.
I think in the two experiences I played two different roles. I think in the World Juniors I was I was the first line guy, having to score goals, set up plays, whereas at World Championships, I was the fourth line guy, kind of get out there, get some energy going, and cycle the puck down low, things like that. So it was definitely a learning experience having to play two separate roles, and both were great experiences. Anytime we get to throw on the USA jersey, it's always something special.
I was going to ask you to go back even further. Like, what have the last 2 years at BU? What have they meant to you in terms of maturing and both becoming a better hockey player as well?
They've meant a lot to me. Every year is definitely a step towards your pro hockey career, and I think those past 2 years at BU, it was definitely the right decision to go to BU. I had other offers on the table, and I think deciding to go to BU was the right one. They've had a track record of putting guys in the NHL, and they definitely taught me, having talked to Coach Parker, Coach Quinn, and Coach Bavis, they taught me how to become more mature off the ice. They taught me how to handle myself better, and at the same time on the ice, every day they're out there trying to get me to be better, telling me to move my feet, how to take face-offs, everything that allowed me to develop into a better player.
Yeah, I think I remember you talking on the teleconference earlier, and you were saying you got along better with the guys second year round, that kind of thing. Is that part of the maturation process? Is it just becoming more part of the team, that sort of?
Yeah, I think I throughout my whole hockey career, I've always been with kids my age, and I think when I go into my freshman year, I'm a 17-year-old, and there's 25-year-olds on the team. There's definitely a maturity difference there, whether or not I act a little bit older than my age. So I think having been in the dressing room with guys who are older for 2 years definitely allowed for more development than that 1 year. So I think that second year was definitely necessary, and was a great decision between my family and agent and everybody. So I'm definitely happy I went back for that second year.
Is there something you have to kind of work on to concentrate to make the transition from playing 40, 50 games a year to an 82 and maybe more game schedule?
Yeah, I think that's another thing I learned at World Championships was the way that the guys took care of their bodies. They were stretching, they were rolling, and kind of getting it, flushing out on the bike, things like that are things that go a long way. And I think at the same time, I ended up between World Juniors, World Championships, and my NCAA schedule, I ended up getting in 63 games this year. So it's adding in another 20 games is obviously going to be difficult. All that travel. So it's going to be. I learned quite a bit at the World Championships there, and it's definitely going to be another step I have to take.
Not so many bus rides here.
Yeah.
At the World Juniors, you played with both Tavares and Hedman. If you're GM, what would be the advantages of taking each of them, and who else would you throw into that mix?
I think obviously with Tavares you're going to get a lot of pure goal scorer, and Hedman you're going to get a little bit more. He's a great defensive player who's going to develop into a Lidstrom type player, captain and all that. But Tavares is a very, very good gifted player, and he's in the likes of Crosby, and he's supposed to be a highly touted player. So we'll see what happens there.
Thank you.